Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a nice little flight. It's going to be a kind of a classic VFR flight from here in beautiful Ellington, Connecticut. As you can tell by the weather, things have gotten a little bit colder. Starting to see little patches of snow. And of course we're going to be landing over in Newport so we can look at some really expensive houses. Joining us again today is going to be Mean Mice. You probably remember her from a few weeks ago when we went to Disney World, which is pretty cool. I thought, alright, we'd kind of show off my side of things so we can kind of compare. You can say hi. Did I lose you?
Hi?
There it is. Yeah, that works. Okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure you're there. Awesome.
There's a button on this I forgot to press.
Okay, that's
easy.
I'm
in Zoom mode, you know?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Are you on mute? You know, I saw some really fun mugs that say, are you on mute? It's just sort of something to hold up in the little camera. But we don't have to worry about that today. All right, so we're going to be flying the Diamond 40, which is an absolutely perfect aircraft for this, other than the fact I wish it had a gasoline heater on board to be a lot more comfortable. So lucky for us, Mean Mice has got a little bit of flying experience herself as well, so she's going to be acting as our number 2 here, which is going to be awesome, just to make sure I don't do anything stupid like, you know, forget to take the chocks off the plane or something. Okay, can we have the before takeoff checklist? Or I should say the report engine start checklist, please.
Before engine start, okay. Pre-flight check.
We've done all that before you got in the plane.
Baggage and tow bar.
Looking in the back seat, looks pretty good to me.
Parking brake.
Parking brake is in the, check it. Parking brake is in the set position.
Alternate air.
Alternate air is closed.
Circuit breakers.
All in.
Flap selector.
It's up.
Electric master.
Off.
Electric fuel pump.
Off.
Avionic master.
Off.
Essential bus.
Off.
Ignition.
Off.
All light switches.
As far as I can see, they're all off at this time.
Nope. It says pilot heat with a typo?
That's a pitot heat. That's a switch here.
Pitot heat.
Off.
Okay.
No problem.
Alternate static.
We already checked that. We're good to go.
Emergency switch.
Off.
Instrument plus floodlight.
Those are off, but we don't need them.
Gyro slave switch.
I'm not going to worry about that. That's already preset.
Okay. Electric master.
Off.
Annunciator panel.
We can't see that right now, but all that's out right now.
Acknowledge button.
All right, so we got to get that front. All right, so you said electric switch, correct?
I said electric master.
All right, electric master is on. So you said acknowledge?
Okay. Yeah, acknowledge button.
Got it. I'm pushing it a few times. All right, we're good. Next.
Rudder pedals.
Feel good?
Passengers.
The passengers have been briefed, and they're briefing me.
Cool. Seat belts.
Nice and tight, but apparently I can't actually click it in, so I'm just going to hope I don't go flying.
Cool. Tie it off to something. It'll be fine.
All right, hang on. Oh, okay, we're good.
Rear door.
The rear door is in the closed position.
Front canopy.
Front canopy is closed and locked.
Fuel quantity.
Checking. Full tanks.
Okay, so that hits the fuel selector one as well. ACL.
I'm not sure what that one is.
Strobe.
That's what I need to know. All set.
Hobbs meter.
Checking. Right now, I believe it's Z at 0. We're good.
Propeller area.
Nobody's standing in front of it.
See, on my screen, people are standing in front of it.
Oh, there's a guy off to my left, but actually, I think it's a she. Sorry. Don't worry, she's out of the way. Clear.
Okay, that's the before engine start checklist.
All right, engine start.
Okay, I have an after engine start checklist.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and go through it then. We're going to flip that one on. We're going to make sure my fuel is turned on, which it is. We're going to make sure the area is clear. We're going to crack the throttle a little bit. Clear prop. All right, after engine start, please.
Oil pressure.
Checking now. Green.
Fuel selector.
We have it normal.
What is that? Pitot heat?
Pitot heat is off.
Pitot, okay. Avionics master.
Set on.
VHF com nav GPS.
Looking pretty good.
Okay. And we're not doing the autopilot test, you said?
Yeah, we'll skip the autopilot test. I don't think we need that today.
Okay, so there's the before takeoff check.
All right, then we'll call for that once we get there. All right, cool. So could you please check ADIS for us while I'm kind of getting all the avionics kind of ready to go?
You're going to have to tell me how to do that.
All right, in the if you take a look at the PFD, which is the square on the left-hand side, in the top right corner, there's going to be this is the word COM.
Okay.
Okay, so if you remember, the large knob is the one on the outside, the inner knob is the one on the inside. If you twist the large knob, it gives you the hundreds. If you twist the little knob, it gives you kind of like the little pieces there.
Okay, and what am I setting it to?
118.15.
Oops, no, I want to go the other way. Okay. That does not want to work.
Give the engine a few minutes to warm up. The local temperature, by the way, in case anybody's curious, is about, I think it's, minus 1 degrees on the Celsius scale, so it's a little chilly. Just making sure all my avionics are set up properly. One of these fun tricks you can do is when you're setting this up, you can just dial it in like this so you know where the heading is directly. So that's all set. We're not going to be using this. We're going to be flying VFR today.
I'm having trouble with this thing.
Okay. I'll check it out.
118.15, you said?
That's correct.
Okay. It's getting the little button to
Behave.
do what I want it to do.
Yeah. One of the tricks to that is you can actually move your head around. But sometimes that makes it tricky too. All right, I'm just going to confirm this. Let's take a listen. So the nearest ATIS to us, I think I got it, right?
No, I'm going to let you do it.
We'll find out later, right? So the nearest weather to us is 11815, which is Bradley International. I'm not picking up, probably because we're kind of behind a hill or something like that, and we can't quite hear it. So unfortunately,
I'm pretty sure I haven't actually dialed it in right.
It's all right. Don't worry. I did the same thing on my screen. The other half of this as well is, again, it's line of sight. So if you have no line of sight, you can't hear the weather. In the real world, I just called it up on my phone, and we've got the altimeter and everything set right. Okay, you ready to get going?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
All right, let's do it to it. I'm going to go ahead and release the parking brake here. And I'm going to go ahead and give it just a little gas. On a Diamond 40, by the way, whenever you're actually taxiing, you're going to be using alternate braking. You can't actually turn the front wheel, which is actually kind of a bummer. All right, take a look at the right there. It looks like I'm about to get cut off by a van. All right, can we get a before takeoff checklist, please?
Brake.
Hold on. I'm going to go ahead and set it once I get a little bit closer here. All right, set.
Seatbelts.
Tightened.
Rear door.
Secure.
Front canopy.
Closed and locked.
Door warning light.
I've got no warnings.
Engine instruments green range.
Every single one of them, yes.
Circuit breakers.
All in?
Mixture.
Full rich.
Okay. And there's a run up, and then there's even more things.
Okay. We'll be pretty good to go then. Just past the run up. I'm not worried about that in this version of the Diamond.
Okay. Amperemeter.
Positive. Good.
Electric valve trim, sorry.
Yep, looks good. Looks like it works.
Flaps.
Set for takeoff.
Flight controls.
Free and clear.
Fuel tank. Fuel selector.
Fullest tank.
Electric fuel pump.
Off.
Pitot heat.
Off.
Transponder.
Setting now. So the transponder is going to let everybody around us know where we are. All set.
And parking brake.
Released. All right, check the approach to make sure it's clear. Looking clear. All right, let's get going. What is our initial heading?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, the one with the flight bled.
-3 degrees?
-3 degrees sounds like temperature.
Okay.
I'm guessing it's something like 130 degrees, something like that.
What would it be listed under on this flight plan?
Probably under compass heading CH.
CH is actually not something on this flight plan.
Okay, so there should be something like 120, 130.
124. Magnetic. MH.
MH, good, awesome. Okay, ready to go? Got your stopwatch ready?
Yes.
All right, here we go.
Tell me when to hit start.
Getting bounced around a little bit here. It's definitely going to be a little gusty. We're actually dodging a snowstorm right now, so I'd be very curious how nasty this is really going to get. 50 knots. Rotate. Here we go. Oh, now the radio starts working. I know when it does that. All right, so we're going to hang out here for just a second. I don't want to take a right turn just yet, because if I do, there's like a mountain waiting to smack into us. So we're going to hold on tight. There's a really, really neat lookout tower over here on the right, but again, I don't want to become one with it if I don't have to. All right, I'm going to go take us a nice gentle left turn, and we're going to come all the way to 1-4. You can go ahead and hit the timer if you'd like.
That doesn't sound good.
I'm amazed with it being this cold outside, 75, you can still get the warning. I know we shouldn't have packed all those extra baguettes with us.
The setting changes over time. Like when you hit top of climb, it looks like it changes to 126.
Totally possible because the wind's probably shifted pretty dramatically by the time we actually get there.
Okay.
There we go.
Sorry for my dog.
So just a fun fact, you can bring your dog into an airplane with you. Just got to make sure they have the world's strongest stomach, because if they don't, they get a little bit grumpy. All right, we are on course. 124, you said?
Yeah, 124 until top of climb, and then at top of climb it goes to 126.
Copy. There we go. That should be right about there. All right, looks good. So we're going to be doing a cruise climb here today, which is instead of using the 75 knot climb, which gets us up sooner, we're going to hold the nose down a little bit to go ahead and encourage the aircraft to be able to climb a little bit quicker. All right, what is our first waypoint we're looking for? UConn, I think
Big college.
Big college, got it. Right wing, left wing.
Probably would have been good of me to write that down.
I'm pretty sure it's got to be on our right wing if I recall correctly. Let's hope. All right, because we're clearing Ellington. I think that's Crystal Lake on your right-hand side, right at your 3 o'clock. Actually, no, I think that's up on your 11 o'clock, my bad.
Yeah.
All right. So for those
I still don't know the time thing, so...
Don't worry about it too much. How about the port quarter?
Sure.
All right, we're going to swing back to the right a little bit. We've drifted just a teeny tiny bit. That's all right. All right, swing back the other way a little bit. This aircraft really enjoys pulling itself to the left. I'm going to go ahead and flip on the wind mode so we can see how close our calculated wings are. We are using live weather, by the way, for those of you who are curious. Go to PFD. I'm going to go to wind mode, option 3. Looks like we have a headwind, and it's about 127 degrees. So basically, the wind is blasting us right in the face right now, which is kind of depressing, because usually the wind comes from behind us. Now, if we did this trip in the opposite direction, this would be a much, much easier time for us. I think we got it pretty good right now. Go ahead and set a couple modes here. Awesome. All right, so we're looking out for UConn on the right wing, correct?
Okay. It's UConn. I know it's supposed to be UConn.
I guess we have to see what the flight simulator version of UConn actually is. So we'll go ahead and take a peek out the window here and see what we can find. I got a really, really nice house on the right-hand side there, like coming up on the right wing. Pretty good sized yard. I don't think that's UConn, though. Just kind of do a little bit of I Spy here. Looks like we're starting to get a little bit of snowfall here, which is interesting because in the real world, this place is completely blindingly white right now. So you wouldn't be able to see much of anything. You've got some pretty good sized hills on the right. You've also got a pretty good lake on the right. I think that's Coventry Lake straight on your right. Well, you're, I guess, your starboard quarter. 130 kind of a thing. And you also have a stream coming up if you want to confirm our position. We'll be reaching our top of climb in just a moment. Oh, 200 feet to go. UConn. 130. All right, we've hit our top of climb.
Well, UConn we should be hitting at in another minute.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you look, I'm taking a look relative to where you're sitting here. If you're sitting in the left seat and you look where the red button is that says arm, if you look straight up and slightly to the left, You'd be looking
Yeah.
right at UConn. That's what that little, kind of see where the clump of weird whiteness is?
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
UConn. And also, if you look to the left, is the huge dairy fields.
Ah, okay.
Gotcha. So we're not quite crossed it, but we have crossed Coventry Lake, which is coming up on the right now. I'm going to go ahead and reduce the engine and get us to our cruise settings.
We should be at 126.
Heading of 126.
Heading?
Copy. Coming around to 126.
And then it's 127 once we hit UConn.
Copy. All right, we are on our way. And we're crossing a pretty serious looking, I think it's a river right to your right. And it looks like there's a railroad track that goes along with it. I don't know if you're confirming that.
Yep.
All right, so you know exactly where we are. Yeah, you got the lake coming right up. And you can see UConn very distinctively right off our right. See the round building in kind of the center? You zoom in a little bit. Yeah, it's definitely UConn. So about 30 seconds or so to cross that waypoint.
Sounds about right.
So we're right on schedule. Awesome. And you said a 127 after UConn?
Yes.
Copy.
I hope I'm reading this right.
I think we'll be all right. It's tough to get lost. We have a GPS of this thing.
Well, the next few are all 127, so I know eventually we have to go that way.
Gotcha. Yeah, the visibility is actually pretty decent, but look at that cloud cover. I think we're getting worse cloud cover as we go, if I'm not mistaken. So, folks at home, the one quick thing I always want to warn people is this weather's a little sketchy for VFR flighting. Even though we have plenty of room, we got about 2,000 feet of clouds above us. That's kind of dangerous. You know, if this cloud cover gets low enough, we might not actually be able to make our destination. We're about 20 seconds to be crossing UConn. Yeah, look at that. You literally cannot miss that. That's huge. Look at the size of the fields. Well, if we lost an engine during this flight, it'd be pretty easy to find a spot to put down, that's for sure. Yep, and that's where the ice cream is. Stand by to mark. Almost there. I'm gonna wait until the wingtip just touches the central office building thing there. And... mark. How we doing?
I point 2.
Is that how close we are? Or 0.2 off?
Yeah, we're off. Time-wise, we're off by point 2.
0.2 of a minute or a second?
I would have expected 7 minutes 2 seconds, or 7 minutes 4 seconds, or 40 seconds.
Oh my.
Yeah.
For shame, right? All right, we're on our way. All right, what's our next waypoint we're looking for?
Danielson.
All right, so it's going to be Kilo Lima Zulu Delta, I believe it is. I think it's an airport that actually has a high school attached to it, like a technical college. I don't remember. And I believe that's also near Brooklyn, Connecticut, where the prisons are, correct?
Yes.
Copy. All right, let's kick one look at my speed. We're supposed to be getting about 120 out of this thing. We're getting about 120, which is about what we expected. The wind looks like it's not nearly as bad as we expected, although what do we got right now for wind? Let's take a look. We have no wind, so this is actually clear. So the plane's actually going to go where we point it right now, which I swear never happens in the real world. So right now we're averaging a 2 seconds behind, which is pretty incredible if you ask me. We have a wonderful navigator.
I wouldn't go that far.
Oh, we haven't got lost yet, right? And we're on a 127 is what you asked for.
Sure.
All right, we're good to go. Sweet. All right, we got a lake coming up. It's kind of a long lake that's got a little lake kind of off to the right. Looks kind of like a running rabbit. If you are sitting in the pilot seat, it's right over the altimeter, which is the clock-like instrument. Yeah, it's right there. Right on the right, coming up, kind of a long lake, north-south facing. All right. ETA on Danielson?
5 minutes?
5 minutes? Perfect. So current time, we got 2 o'clock and 17 seconds, so we should be crossing at a 2:05-ish, would you say?
Sure.
Okay. And you said that was roughly on our left wing?
Yes, I believe so.
All right, I'm going to start looking out for it. So in the real world, of course, we always carry binoculars with us, which are like a wonderful tool. But in Flight Simulator, you have the world's best and most stable binoculars, so I kind of keep that in mind. Like, I can't let go of my binoculars and they just sort of hover there like they do in the flight sim. Take a look at my speed here. Yep, we're doing 120 on the nose. So the aircraft must have slightly more drag than calculated because we need 81% power to get 20. 120, I should say, which is a little slow for us. I think I found you, Danielson. Oh, my.
Where?
How the best describe that? 11 o'clock on the nose. It's out, I want to say 9 miles, 11 o'clock. I'm guessing that's what that is. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. It's not along a river, is it?
I don't think so.
Okay. I'm going to keep
But it
looking.
looks like there might be some power lines not too far from it.
Okay, I'm looking for those. So in the real world, like I said, we have a lot of snow right now, so this would all be a blanket of white. Like, you wouldn't get these nice little zones where it's like, oh, I think that's what that is. It's like, nah. Your power lines, by the way, are super easy to spot because it looks like not a highway, but just cutting through a bunch of trees. So we're about to cross some power lines in about 1 minute. It looks like, I want to say they're coming from the southwest going northeast.
Yes.
Copy. There's also a lake to the north of those power lines. It looks kind of like the letter U from where I'm sitting. I want to say 11:30.
Okay.
All right. Okay. I think we're coming up on that airport. Taking a look at the clock. We got about 3 minutes to go, you said?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
All right. I'm looking at my left right now, and I'm seeing it looks like a small town. I'm just guessing here, because there's definitely... Yeah, it's a runway. I see it. Let's see. 12 o'clock, 11... I want to say 11:15. If you take a look, there's two rivers that kind of split. Do you see, like, the little blue squigglies?
Yeah, okay.
So in between the two rivers, do you see something that looks like a gray line that's going kind of east-west? If you zoom
Wow,
in...
you have great eyes.
Lots of practice. But there's an east-west. That's Daniel. Well, it's got to be. You got to tell me. Or are we supposed to cross Danielson?
We're supposed to be pretty close to Danielson, if I recall.
So I'd say we're almost a little south then. No, we're pretty close. Like, you can see it more clearly now as we start to go by. Yeah, there's the technical college right there next to it. I know, it's like you're sitting there going, wait, what?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. All right, get ready to mark on that one then. Looks like we're going to be just a teeny tiny bit early.
Yeah, we're going to be actually quite a bit early.
All right, I'm keeping an eye on it. Maybe picked up a little bit more speed than I expected. We're getting 119.5 out of this thing, so maybe the wind's not as strong as we calculated. Yep, I was right the first time. That's definitely Danielson. Where are the prisons, do you know? Are they, like, kind of the east side of Brooklyn?
I know they're somewhere in the town of Brooklyn. I just don't remember where.
All right, I'm just trying to guess. It's not exactly something it's jumping out at me. I mean, there's some very large buildings kind of coming up right now. Yep, that's definitely Danielson. I was right. Nice. That was easy find. Easy find. Like I said, if it were snowy like it really is, you'd never be able to see that. We'd have to basically fly on top of it. I'd say we're not on top of it, but we're slightly off to the side of it on this one, if you'd agree. Because you can see it now where the twist in the river is. Awesome. Okay. Almost ready to mark the time?
Okay.
All right, get ready. It looks like probably 30, 40 seconds to go or so. And then I believe our next waypoint was windmills, correct?
Windmills.
Oh, fingers crossed Microsoft Flight Simulator actually has those. Otherwise, we're going to have to go based on time. Yeah, I think I found your prison, by the way. No, that's a high school. Or the interchangeable. I don't know. Yeah, same thing. Let's see. The periods end in bells. They have fences. Yeah, maybe not. Yeah, definitely Brooklyn, Connecticut is right there. It's coming up kind of 11, 10:30-ish. That's where that kind of major road is kind of squeaking into it, where the river kind of meets in the middle. Mm-hmm. All right, yeah, that's Danielson. It's coming up on the left wing now. Oh, see the flashing light? If you look at the left wing right now, you'll see a blue and green light, rather. See it? Right off the left wing.
Okay, yeah.
That's Danielson right in front of it. All right, stand by to mark. Stand by. Yep, there's the technical school right there. You can actually see the track. That's so awesome. Right there. And stand by to mark. And mark. How are we doing for time?
I think we've made up a little bit of time, because I would have expected it to be another minute off, so...
So right now our navigator is basically, what you don't see, and I'll post this kind of on the right so folks can see this at home, is basically there's a nav plan, and we're just sort of following it step by step, checking the actual time versus when we do cross. All right, how do we do?
Oh, good. Stay at the 127 heading.
Copy. Did we end up being early for that one or a little late?
We ended up being early, yeah.
Roughly how much?
Actually, pretty close to on time now that I think about it.
Couple seconds.
Yeah, a couple seconds off.
So again, for folks who are missing the rest of this, is I have a wonderful co-pilot, Mean Mice, basically sitting there with a nav map and a stopwatch, and we're basically doing the I Spy game as if a real VFR pilot would be doing it. The only big difference between this experience and what it would be like in the real plane, other than the fact it's a lot louder in the real plane, is the fact you'd be working on the radio with some flight following. But this is basically literally what you do. We just crossed a major highway. I think that's Route 695. Can't miss it. Looks like they forgot to plow it.
Yep. Yep.
North-south for sure. Okay, straight ahead, I see some bunny lights. If you look right off the nose of the plane, you're going to see a series of like white lights that suddenly appear and kind of run away from you. If you zoom in a little bit, you can see them very distinctively. Yeah, they're kind of not quite off the...
White light out there.
Yeah. I think that's Quonset State.
Oh.
That's not us, though. We need to cross the bay first. Taking a look around, we're looking for windmills, correct?
Yes.
All right, so I'm really, really hoping that those windmills are actually represented in the game, because if they're not, then we're basically going to have to do it by time, which is sketchy, but as you've seen, we're on time, so I'm not complaining at all. And again, in case you're curious from home, we're sitting here with live everything. All right, steadying. Roughly how long do we have before we hit the windmills?
4 minutes.
4 minutes, so that gets us 14:11 or so. I'm looking. Is there any bodies of water or anything right next to them?
Some small lakes near them.
Yeah, there's a ton of them.
If you hit the bay, you've gone too far.
Copy, because I honestly don't see any windmills off my nose right now. It's troublesome. Do we have a top of descent calculated?
What do you mean?
So, TOD?
As in time we should hit it?
Yeah, roughly.
I have to do a little bit of quick math. It was originally 29 minutes, but we started a little off, so I have to figure that out.
Okay, copy. Just let us know. Pretty much, I think we have to start descending right when we hit the bay, if I recall correctly. All right, I'm not seeing any sort of windmills anywhere here. Check my speed, everything looks good. Man, is it cold outside. Oh boy, I'm going to turn the heater up in the plane if you're okay with that.
I'm always cold.
Now, some airplanes actually have what they call gasoline heat, where it burns gasoline to warm you inside the plane. It works great until it doesn't, and then you burn. Bad way. I'm not seeing any windmills, and we said 14:11-ish is when we should be crossing them. There's a ton of little tiny like Finger Lakes action straight ahead. I don't know if you can see that okay. And I'm not seeing those windmills, but I'm still seeing Quonset State on our right with the bunny lights. I just spotted Providence. If you look at, I want to say, let's see here, this is 12, this is going to be 11, a little bit under 11 o'clock. If you zoom in a little bit, you can see two flashing white lights off in the distance. That's the end of the runway for Providence. For instance, green, I think it is. All right, I'm going to take a look outside to see if we can try to find that. I'm not seeing it. Alright, maybe this was a bad waypoint to pick. Oy! Just checking around real fast.
Because our next waypoint is another windmill.
Oh, great. So maybe... Alright, so it's something good to check on when we sat down and I built this plan. Because I have seen windmills in Flight Simulator before. They are out there, but they're hard to see. In the real world, you can't miss a windmill. It will have a little flashing red light on the top of it to kind of remind you that it's there. Alright, take a look at our settings. I've disabled all my GPS displays here, so you can't see any of them. We're just going completely on what the actual stuff is coming off of our navigator here. Lots and lots and lots and lots of lakes. Still not seeing any windmills.
Okay, lakes aren't bad.
Okay, any idea where we are relative to those?
Well, we could be over them, actually. Staying over a whole bunch of lakes was kind of where those windmills were.
Copy. We're not going to hit those for another, I don't know, minute or so. I do not see those windmills anywhere. And they're pretty much right in the line of traffic, if I recall correctly, too. We're basically fly over them.
Well, if we pass 95, that's another big indicator. We will eventually have to go over 95.
Unfortunately, I don't know. I think we just did.
Oh.
See it?
Well, that's a problem.
That could be 95. I don't know. I can't exactly read road signs up here. I got some power lines coming up on your left. Not quite there, but we will be hitting some power lines. I don't know if that helps.
I'm still learning how to read these maps, so not as much as you would think.
Okay, that's fine. I do not see those windmills, and we should be crossing them pretty much already, correct?
Yeah. You should have crossed them before you reached 95.
Okay, so we would have already gone by them then. Yeah, so we definitely crossed 95 already. So we crossed 95 about a minute ago. And then our next waypoint, you said, was also windmill, correct?
Yes. That one's much closer to the coast.
Copy.
And it's near...
What is that, the military airport?
What is...
Quonset?
KUUU?
Yep, Quonset State. So that's right on our right-hand side. So we're looking pretty good. Okay, so whatever our last waypoint is, whatever that time was a moment ago, just subtract the minute ago. So I think we're pretty much still right on time.
Yes.
Excellent.
Actually, we are.
Excellent. That's wonderful. What time should we be crossing our next waypoint then? Pretty much the bay, correct?
Yeah, so in about 5 minutes.
Copy. So that's going to be 14:17. Awesome. And I got to say, folks at home, this is absolutely wild when you have that extra set of eyes to kind of keep an eye on things. It makes your life so much simpler. Can we get the ATIS code for our destination?
132.075.
132.075, you said? 075. Let's take a listen.
Kilo uniform automated weather observation 19000 Zulu. Wind 085 Visibility 10. Sky condition: few clouds at 700 feet, few clouds at 4,100 feet, few clouds at 11,600 feet. Temperature -6 C, dew point 10 C, altimeter 3030.
All right, confirm.
Uniform automated.
All right, I just checked in with the ATIS real quick. They stated that the weather is coming out of the 085. What runway are we looking at today?
I don't think we decided that before we took off.
Okay. What do we have as far as a runway facing east?
Tree 4?
Tree 4 sounds good to me. No, that's the opposite. What's the other runway from Tree 4? Like 6?
16.
16? Okay.
Yes.
All right, let's do it. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and get us ready for our descent here. Anything about elevation on that particular sheet?
I have something here that just says 2623 by 75.
Okay, that's the size of the runway.
That's what you need.
That's the runway.
Okay.
That's all right. All right, we'll come on in. All right, we're going to start beginning our descent. I want to get down to that altitude before. Take a look at the major highway we're about to cross in a second. You cannot miss that.
That's probably really close to our... There should be a big bridge that was going to be kind of close to our waypoint.
Can't miss it. It's right out the right wing. Basically, if you look at the water, there's this weird kind of like grayness to it. That would be the bridge. Of course, in the real world, you can't miss that bridge. It's gigantic. Quonset State, though, check it out. It's right on your right. The starboard quarter. You can see its little control tower hanging out. Yeah, that's definitely Quonset State. So we're supposed to hit basically just north of there?
Yes.
Awesome. So we're perfect then.
I think we're doing good.
All right, delightful. Reduce power just a teeny tiny bit. We're about to cross a really serious looking highway. Also, if you look basically at our, I'm going to say 10 o'clock, you can actually see Providence. This is KPVD. Fortunately for us, they're going to be landing from the bay today, so we don't have to worry about that too much. Whoops. Awesome. Looking pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and check my 2 fuel tanks. We need to suck a lot more fuel out of the left side. Unfortunately for this plane, they don't have an automatic mode like they would like on a TBM or something that can suck fuel out of both sides at the same time. It's kind of disappointing. Yeah, that's looking pretty
Which
good.
airport is that off to, 12:30?
12:30. That's I told you it's Quonset.
That's Quonset.
KUUU or whatever it is.
Okay.
There's also
We're supposed to be a little, I think we're supposed to be a little south of that.
south of the airport.
I could be wrong. I might be reading this totally wrong.
It's
I'm not positive.
all right. We just got to find. Oh, I've already found where we're going. Yep, we definitely need to be south. All right, we're gonna go ahead and take a nice gentle turn to the right.
129.
Copy. Yeah, I see it. If you look straight ahead, there's a kind of a port or like a sub base or something like that, pretty much straight ahead. So I'm gonna confirm something while I'm sitting here. Whoops. I actually was happy the way I had it. I'm gonna suck gas out of the left side, not the right side. The right side we sucked all the gas out of. Yeah, I can already see where we're going. If you take a look off the nose, like you see where that island is, like where the old fort used to be? Straight off the nose.
Where there's like 2 red dots.
Yeah, off in the distance to the right.
If I zoom in all the way.
That's
yeah,
us.
okay.
Yeah, that's where we're going. So we're definitely, at some point we drifted a little bit north here. Because Quonset should have been to our other left wing, correct?
Correct.
Well, at least we got to it all right. So at some point we did lose it. But again, we could never find those stupid windmills, so we couldn't check to see that we were on target here. And I'm looking at my right wing right now, and I don't see any windmills anywhere. That's so annoying. Boy, that's annoying. But at least it's easy to find. Oh, there's that bridge you were talking about. Right at your 2 o'clock, 1:30. If you zoom in, do you see the bridge? Can't miss it. Yep, I see where we're going. Swing us back to the right a little bit. There we go. We're going to be leveling off in just a few moments. All right, I'm going to go ahead and call them up and let them know we're coming. You said 1-6, correct?
For what?
Landing.
Yes.
Alrighty, let's announce our position. Full stop landing. Position.
Kilo uniform, traffic red, 648 miles northwest, 1,000 feet.
How are we doing as far as time goes?
Bound to land runway 16.
I think we can count a minute ago, having just crossed where that other point was.
Yeah, we're doing okay.
Okay, pretty much still on time, I imagine.
Yeah, sure.
So again, an important lesson to be seen here is you absolutely have to make sure you find waypoints. If you miss them, again, crazy. All right, I'm going to start increasing power a little bit. We're going to get a little noisy. Nothing too bad, though.
Yeah, according to this, we should be hitting our top of descent in about a minute.
Copy. I descended a little bit earlier. Our speed's going to stay pretty much the same regardless of that little descent I just took. The important thing here is we have plenty of time to get lined up to our runway here. That'll bring us back up to 120 knots. And again, I've been doing this entire thing without any GPS display at any point. And not too many people on the island on our left here. And yep, you can't miss the runway straight ahead. So runway 16, I'll show you a slick trick here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shut off my heading mode. I'm actually going to spin this around to show you how we're going to be coming in for a landing. So you can see in this case, we're actually going to be doing a straight-in approach. Now, since I shut off heading mode already, it's going to keep going like as a wing leveler. If I push the heading button, it's immediately going to start pulling itself to the side to line us up. All right, can we get some descent checklists just to make sure we got all of our pieces right?
Landing data?
Computed.
Altimeters.
Set.
Com, nav, GPS.
Set.
Directional gyro.
We don't have to worry about that, but yes, set.
Seatbelts.
Tightened.
Fuel selector.
Set.
Electric fuel pump.
It's off.
Okay.
All right, before landing checklist.
That's actually all I have. The next thing I have is an after landing checklist.
Nice. Okay.
Miles northwest, 1,000 feet inbound to land runway 16.
All right, we're going to go ahead and do a straight-in approach today, which is extremely naughty for most pilots.
Uniform,
It was
traffic red, 64 is on final runway 16 to land.
All right. As soon as we hit the ground, you can go ahead and stop the timer and see how well we did despite our getting teeny tiny bit lost there. Dropping that first notch of flaps, getting ready. And we're going to go ahead and pull that nose up just a little bit. We don't need to descend yet. We're just a touch high. All right, looking good so far. All right, ready to land? Luckily for us, we don't have to worry about things like landing gear here. We just kind of put the thing down on the ground.
Landing light on?
I can flick that on. It's not really nighttime, but you know what? The bulb is pretty cheap in a flight simulator. All right, coming down. Basically trying to trim out all the control pressure as we approach. In case we have to go back around again. You almost never get to do straight-in approaches like this in the real world. Like, maybe if you're doing instrument flying, you can do it, but you don't really get to do it when you do VFR. You must always find yourself in a traffic pattern unless you're being tremendously lazy. And we're a little low, but that's all right. All right, stand by for the bump. All right, stop the timer. Always shut your landing line up before you blind everybody. All right, how'd we do for time?
And we were only off by
Kilo uniform, traffic red, 640.
20 seconds?
20 seconds. Not bad, given that we completely whiffed on the airport. That was awesome. All right, any comments? General piece of advice for anybody?
make sure you know your waypoints.
Don't pick windmills. Uh-oh, I think that's a police car waiting for us. How did they know? And we're going to go ahead and park this thing real quick. All right, folks, hopefully you enjoyed that video. Again, it's always great flying with a co-pilot. It really does change your experience as far as, some of the things you see. That was a complete VFR flight. As you could see, we were not using the GPS at any point during this entire journey. Everything was done completely, basically, the old-fashioned way. And you could see, despite our efforts otherwise, we were still 20 seconds late overall for a flight that was, I think, what was that, about 60 nautical miles, I think it is, which is pretty substantial. Other than that, again, this is a really, really quick thing. Thank you so much, Amin Mice, for coming with us. Hopefully you had a good time.
Fun.
Awesome. I love it. All right, folks, again, that was traveling from Ellington Airport in Connecticut over to Newport State over here in Rhode Island. Like always, enjoy.